Hey y'all. So I do several podcasts. I do herbal medicine for preppers. I do a religious podcast. I teach you how to play guitar and mandolin. I also do a weekly podcast on for the Prepper Broadcasting Network. It's called Herbal Medicine for Preppers. That's kind of exclusive content. I don't put it on my YouTube channel. There are a few old episodes if you want to check them out. But the bottom line is, in my last podcast, I mentioned my everyday carry. The things I carry just for emergencies, just for basic survival. And there's been some interest. People want to see this. So I'm going to do probably a 3-part video series on what you can carry on your person that is, 1, very cheap, 2, very easy to use, and 3, would allow you to survive for 3 or 4 days in emergency. If you're out in the woods and you're stuck, if you've gone somewhere in your vehicle and you know, a snowstorm comes up or it breaks down and you can't get help, whatever. These are things that are on me all the time. And they're light, they're simple, and like I said, very cheap and practical. So we're going to start with what I carry really EDC every day. The basic things that go on my person, in my pockets. And that's going to start with my belt kit and what I actually carry in my pants pockets. So it's, stick with me here for a minute. I think you'll find that every bit of this makes sense, and it's all very easy. So to start with, I carry a belt knife. Okay, here's my belt knife. Pop that open. Where's the snap? There we go. All right, that's just a buck hunting knife. I like buck knives. They're good quality. They're not the best, but they're good quality. And this one it fits my hand. And I have really, really big hands. A lot of knives don't fit my hands. So I like this a lot. I picked it up a closeout sale for about $5. If you look around, you can find some good deals. Buck's always going to be a good quality. I like this. I did not like the sheath that came with it. It came with a plastic sheath that rattled. And I don't want anything on me that rattles in the woods. So I got a little leather sheath there. And it was one off of eBay. A guy makes leather sheaths, and it didn't fit perfectly to the knife. So what I did was I soaked it in water. I put the knife in, and I worked it, and now it fits like a glove. And it's just so comfortable. It's just right there. You can use a knife for so many things. You need to have a knife on you. You really need to have more than one blade on you. There's a concept called 1 is none and 2 is 1. And that means that you need a backup for just about everything you carry. I could easily swap that out for my Mora, and I do sometimes. It depends on the situation. Mora is a smaller blade, okay? Sometimes you want a smaller blade, but the main thing about this Mora is it is a much higher quality steel. This thing is like bulletproof. Again, very inexpensive, rubber handles so you can use it if it's wet. That's the benefit of a rubberized handle is if it gets wet, it's not going to slip in your hands. This is a camp style knife. It is really good, and it comes with a plastic sheath, which I don't really like plastic sheaths, but because of that reason, it is nice and light. I put on there a cord that I made out of yucca fiber. One of these days I'll do a video on how to make cordage out of yucca fiber. This good 200-pound, test strength, just made out of fibers from a yucca plant. And so sometimes I'll wear it around my neck. So I'm out in the woods. I would only wear it like this in the woods because, I don't want to look like a freak in town. Everybody already thinks I'm weird, whatever. But if I'm out in the woods, boom, I got my knife. It's that simple. And these are great. And if I were to put this on my belt, I just pull the cordage off. But anyway, the other thing, of course, I'm going to have with me actually in the woods, because I'm an herbalist and a forager, is going to be my Mora knife. Now, I've done a whole video on this. If I'm going to town, I'm not carrying this. It's a big, scary-looking knife, but it's really a garden tool. It's got a convex blade, so you can dig with it. It's got serration, so you can cut through roots. It's got a very sharp, straight-edged blade. And this thing has a million uses, and if there was one, as they say, piece of kit that I couldn't be without, this is going in the top 5 because, I'm an herbalist and a forager. So anyway, comes with a cheap leather sheath. Could definitely upgrade that, but I will normally, if I'm going in the woods, stick this right behind my belt knife, so it's right there. And I've got my 2 knives if I need to carry them. What else is on my belt? Well, a canteen. This is a military surplus aluminum canteen, quart size. It's great. Some people have issues with aluminum. I really don't. I'm not putting anything acidic in here. It's cool. So anyway, quart size canteen. Pick these up for about maybe $10, Army surplus, whether in a store or online. Make sure it comes with a cup. This is a kit. Got it backwards. There we go. This is a kit. That cup is not just for drinking out of. That's kind of ridiculous when you drink out of. It's really for cooking in. It has these butterfly handles, as they call them. You can put water in here and boil it to sterilize. I like to boil water for about 3 minutes to sterilize. This is perfect. You can cook in here. I'm not going to include this in today's show, but I carry a little mess kit. Some lentils and rice and bouillon cubes and such as that. Put that in there. Put this over a fire. You got food. You're good to go. Well, you need something to make fire with. This is something that a lot of people forget about. It is the stove unit that goes with this cook set. Your little cup goes in here. The handles keep it from dropping all the way down. It's got holes for ventilation. If you can set a couple of sticks on fire, you can sterilize water. You can make food. You can make a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. I think this is essential. I paid probably as much for this little ring as I did for the whole canteen and cup. Sounds stupid, but it really works, and it's designed to work, and fits just snugly on there. The canteen goes snugly on there, and you want to have the little canvas bag that goes with it so it fits snugly into the canvas bag. The snaps come over, and they're very snug, by the way. This is very tight. It can be hard to get out of this canvas, but that keeps that chain from rattling. And I don't like anything that rattles. It has a couple of metal clips on the back, goes perfectly on the belt. I usually wear it right here. And they actually have a couple loops. You can put other things on there. If you can pick one of these suckers up for like 15 to $20, you're doing great. Really, this is a lifesaver. You've got clean water. You've got a way to cook and sterilize more water. And why not? I mean, it's light as can be. I love this thing. If I'm traveling more than 30 minutes from my house, or if I'm going in the woods, this is going on my belt. Okay? Next, let's look at the belt. All right? I'll take my belt off. Hopefully YouTube will not censor me taking my belt off. You never know with all the weird videos on this network. But anyway, okay, looks like a perfectly normal leather belt. It's actually a money belt. There's a zipper right here, and the zipper was a piece of crap. It failed in the first 5 minutes. I may replace it someday. I may not. Probably won't, because it literally, and I don't have everything in here as tightly as I should. It works just the same whether the zipper's open or shut. In here, I have, taking up most of the space, a quart-size Ziploc bag. Why would I carry a quart-size Ziploc bag? Well, I may need to gather water. And in this Ziploc bag, I have 2 water purification tablets. That's for chlorine tablets that will sterilize 2 quarts of water. So even if it was pouring down rain, if I'm in a hurricane, I can't start a fire, I've got 2 quarts of water. If I can just collect rainwater, and I mean, that's probably going to be clean in the first place, but if I have to go to a creek or something, I've got 2 quarts of good sterile water that I can drink. That's, you want to prioritize first aid, shelter, fire, water. Got my water. I'm good to go, okay? Speaking of first aid, right here beside it in the belt, I have a smaller little zip top bag which has Band-Aids and some alcohol wipes. take care of a wound. By the way, this is a very small compartment. Hell, it holds a lot for a small compartment. But you can take a letter opener or something, and you can open this area all the way up to the buckle. And you could put a ton more stuff in here. If you wanted to put some bank line or something in there, and all the way up to the holes over here. I don't really need to do that, so I haven't done that, but you can totally do that. And this sucker is like $10. I mean, and it's a pretty decent belt. I mean, honestly, it's a fairly good-looking, solid, sturdy belt, even if the zipper was not great. And, I got some sunlight coming in. I know you guys are starting to complain. There we go. Is that better? That's probably better. Let's move a chair. There we go. So, these things are really inexpensive, very easy to modify, and of course you can always go with, like, I think Grimm Workshops does one that would hold like 10 times more stuff and is better quality, but I think I paid $8 for this. It's worth it for $8. If it lasts me a few years, it's worth it. What else do I have here? I have some matches. These are wooden matches. They are the Diamond brand matches. And what I did is I took the match box with the striker, because you gotta have the striker, split it open, took out about a dozen matches, laid them flat, wrapped it around it, wrapped it in electric tape, because not only does that keep them dry, but electric tape is an excellent tinder. This tape will burn even when it's wet. So that's the next thing that goes in the belt. And lastly, this little wrapped in black electric tape, piece of cardboard with a box cutter blade in it. If I have no other blade on me, I've got this one, because I got to keep my pants up anyway, right? I've got this blade. I can use this cutting fish or game, obviously. I could take a stick and put a groove in it and a little tape or cordage, and I've got a makeshift knife. Self-defense purposes, if this is all I have to rely on, I'm in pretty bad shape, but at least I've got something. And again, it just goes in this little sleeve made of cardboard and duct tape, and it fits perfectly in my belt. So now I'm beltless, and I'll try not to let my pants fall down. So, in my pocket, right side pocket, Swiss Army knife. Just a regular old Swiss Army knife. It's got blades and bottle openers, and this one doesn't have a saw. I got another one that has a saw, but it's got the tweezers and toothpick. It's a little more thin profile, so sometimes I'll wear this. Just depends on what I'm doing and what pants I'm wearing. In between, this is 300-pound test braided line, braided fishing line. And this is about 300 yards of braiding fishing line, at least 250, believe it or not. And I have braided this down, done a little macrame knotting. In this, I have enough kit to make multiple trot lines, or to hang, run a ridge line, put up a tarp, and sleep under. There are a million uses for any kind of cordage, and this is about the toughest, lightest, thinnest cordage you can get. I like bank line. 300-pound test braid is my next best choice, and sometimes it's a better choice because it is actually much smaller. There's a ton of line here. It's also incredibly strong. So here I have a 6-ounce fishing weight. If anyone asks me, this is for running a trot line. Yeah, I have a little fishing kit in my wallet. We'll get into the wallet the next day. So I can legitimately say this is part of my fishing kit. What else is this? That's one hell of a self-defense tool, is what that is. That is a thumper. That's, so EDC in my pocket. I got at least 2 blades in here, usually a saw, not on this one. Can opener, bottle opener, corkscrew, an awl. Awls are always, useful. But also a really nice handle for a really nice self-defense device. So this is one you might want to think about. All right, what's in my next pocket? Well, I'm just wearing jeans today. If I'm wearing cargo pants, I got more pockets and I get more stuff in them. But in my other pocket, okay, carabiner clipped to the belt loop. That takes the weight off. And out comes my keyring kit. I got a lot of keys that I need to get rid of. Probably half the keys on here I don't need anymore. Keep meaning to get around to it. Haven't. Whatever. I got a little LED fishing flashlight, and yeah, that works. I got a little Swiss Army knife. Normally have a little ferro rod and striker on here. I'm not sure where that got to. Oh, well, I usually also wear a survival bracelet that has a ferro rod and striker, so I probably moved that. I have two split rings, useful for many things. In my wallet, I keep one of those little wire saws, and this attaches to either end. I also, in my hat, have a bow saw blade. I'm not going to show you my hat today. This again allows me to make a saw. Boy, that sun is chasing me. All right, let's turn it like this. All right, so hopefully you can see a little better now. And then in this large cylinder, this is nothing more than a vitamin bottle. I drilled a hole in the top of it, put through a three-way swivel, hooked it to a little clear carabiner. In here, I'm not going to open it because I've got it all wrapped up and sealed, keep it dry and out of the weather with electric tape. There's no need for me to show you what's in here. I can tell you what's in here. I've got more line. I've got both monofilament and braid. I've got treble hooks. I've got a few sinkers, some split shot. I've got about 5 or 6 MEP spinners. I've got straight hooks, J hooks. I've got a couple of small floats that I made from just cutting down a cork. They work perfectly. And, so of course, swivels, clips. There's a full fishing kit in here. I can catch any fish from any freshwater in my state up to saltwater, not including surf fishing or deep water fishing. Anything in the bays and creeks and inlets, I can catch with everything that's in here. I can look around for some worms. I can look around for some grubs. This is really actually a full fishing kit in a very small vitamin bottle. And it just goes right there. So this goes in my pocket. Got the Swiss Army knife with the weight and the bank line in the other pocket. I've got a fishing kit on me. So wherever I go, if I'm leaving the house, I have a flashlight, a knife, fishing kit, usually a fire starter. Not sure where that got to, but I'll put it back on there. In the other pocket, I've got the Swiss Army knife and the thumper. I probably shouldn't have called it that. The fishing weight, in case anyone's interested. In the belt, I've got a fire starter. I've got matches, let's say, for a fire starter. Tinder, first aid kit, water purification, and a container. Canteen if I want to carry it. Knife on the belt if I want to carry it. And I think that's basically the basics. Let me show you one last thing. I'm coming right back. This is the wallet I mentioned in the show, and you can see it's a little thick. If I had gone with a non-folding wallet, it would have been, more like this. You will be amazed everything I carry in here. I have in here space blanket, Mylar, emergency blanket, another knife, first aid kit, fishing kit, knife sharpener, water purification tablets, matches, a lighter, a wire saw, a military style can opener. That's probably only about half of what I have in here. Super light, fits in the back pocket if I'm wearing cargo pants or a loose pair of jeans, not the shorts I'm wearing today, which are a little tight. Apparently I put on a little weight. But I've got in here just about everything I need. So if I'm if I'm not leaving the house, I don't put my wallet in my pocket. I've still got just about everything I would need to get through a 24, 48-hour period, especially if I can find a place with some fish. If I do leave the house, of course, the wallet goes in the pocket. Beyond that, there's the Molly pack, which will blow your mind with what all I put in there. It's probably twice of what I've got here on the table. and it weighs like 2 pounds, goes on the belt. And then I carry a little rations kit so I have a little food with me. So it's all very practical. It's all very inexpensive. Nothing in this kit costs more than $10, and that's probably the wallet. The wallet I think was $10. No, the canteen was also $10. Most things are more in like the $1 to $2 range, but it could save your life, and it's easy. And why not? Why not think about a few things you can stick here and there? A little flashlight, a lighter, things like that can make a huge difference. A space blanket, a rain poncho. Those are things in a storm that can really make a huge difference. And of course, a little first aid, because, first aid is the thing we need to prioritize. So, y'all, next week I'll break open the wallet and I'll show you everything I got in here. Guarantee you're going to be amazed. And when I get to the Molly pack, which is just, maybe twice the size of this, and it fits on my belt and carries my cell phone as well. I mean, there's everything in there that you could imagine. And it's not in a bug-out bag. It's not in a big pack. It's not in something that really stands out or weighs a lot of weight or is inconvenient to carry. It's all just super simple. I mean, even the few items I keep in my hat can make a huge difference in a survival situation or in just a getting lost in the woods situation. You have to stay the night and hike out in the morning. Or you're in a snowstorm and your truck breaks down. I mean, this stuff happens. It's happened to me a million times. So I hope you enjoy this. I'm sorry about the sunlight. It's what, like almost 6 o'clock and it's setting, so it kept moving around on me while I was filming. But, hopefully you can emulate this and get a lot out of it. And you certainly won't regret it because you're not going to invest more than $20 or $30. And half of this stuff you may not even need in your environment. So y'all, anyway, have a good one, and I'll talk to you next time.